Okay, what's up? So, I don't really know what I'm doing. I actually have to run some errands today. Holy moly, it's hotter in here than I thought it would be. Oh yeah, and I noticed that when I do my car vlogs, that if I have my microphone plugged in, I get this like weird staticky thing. So I'm trying it without the microphone just to kind of see what it sounds like. So if you hear like a little boom, ding kind of thing, it's probably, actually, then I guess the problem doesn't matter whether I have a microphone plugged in or not. So, that's that on that. Also, I am kind of working on an art project and I needed to get some epoxy, right? So I was like, oh, cool. And so I was trying to go to Michael's to pick it up. But you can only get the discount if they have a discount. And you can only get the discount if you go online, put the discount code in, and then I think pick up in store. So that's what I do. So I'm kind of like waiting for a text message to say that my art supplies are ready. I don't know. This might have been a bad idea. Also, what else? Oh yeah, so I posted a video today, which would be yesterday when you're watching this, hopefully, if I edit, which I've been pretty good about. That story about Paris Hilton's Sidekick. Okay. So I said I would post it about it, but I want to make sure it's very clear to everybody that it is hearsay, okay? So it's not, I don't know the person that talked to her on the phone, but my old boss knew her, or him. So here's the breakdown. Paris Hilton called in, and I guess this is what my old boss told me. I almost said her name, but I don't want to throw her under the bus just in case. And I don't think I'm like breaking any rules. If I am, nah, I doubt it. They're not going to reach out to me. Okay, so they said it was like really early in the morning. I think it was like either 6 or 7 in the morning here in Colorado. And they get a call from Miss Paris Hilton. And she was having issues with her Sidekick. I don't remember what the issue was specifically. I guess I could have done a little bit of research on the internet to kind of see what it was before I made this clip. But, that's not this type of channel. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm not that prepared today. Having an issue with her Sidekick, so she called in and apparently she was really, really rude. Like, and I guess she was intoxicated, so it was like a bunch of people calling in with their phones not working. Kind of like, I could see why the rep got annoyed if all the facts, or if everything I'm telling you is true. Because I get annoyed like that in any situation when I was working in customer service on the phone, in the restaurant business, if you have a bunch of teenagers coming in that you know don't tip, and they don't use their manners when they're with their friends, so they're just like rude, and it's just not fun to deal with. It feels like you're wasting your time. But, so she called in, she was rude, she was drunk, her friends were rude and drunk, so I guess she was rude to the point that she made the representative really mad. And I guess he like copy and pasted her, took like screenshots. Oh yeah, I guess I should clear this part up. So back in the day when there was T-Mobile Sidekick, it ran off of a server. Now the server was on the carrier's net, on the cell phone side, right? So in order for the Sidekick to work, it had to be on that server. That is why it was only specific to, I think it was T-Mobile, right? You had to have T-Mobile because T-Mobile only had the server for Sidekick. It's kind of similar to BlackBerry. BlackBerry had its own enterprise server for the longest time until it sucked really bad and had to switch over to Android, and then it didn't need a server. But I don't know why I'm telling y'all. I know too much about cell phone and all this stuff. So, being that the Sidekick was on the server, it meant that everything didn't live on the phone itself, it lived on the server, which means when you take a picture, yeah, you're taking the picture with your phone, but it's not actually using the memory on the device itself. It's using... Oh my gosh, there's this homeless guy that waves at people, and I waved at him the other day, and he's out here waving again. He made my day the other day. Sorry, I didn't mean to distract you guys, but... Oh man. He's just like in the best mood. Like, what can you ask for? Oh, should I try and F with this while I'm driving? Probably not, but I don't follow the rules anyway. Okay, that looks pretty decent. Okay, I think that's good. Can you see me? I'm a little dark, but whatever. Oh yeah, so you take a picture on the phone itself, but it's actually saved on a server, like remotely. So it's almost like Chromebooks, how they'd only have like very limited storage on the actual Chromebook because everything's on Google servers on the internet, right? So this was a little bit before its time because like this was like when 1G service was around, if you think about it. Like, remember when it was E, or it said a G? My Sidekick had a G in the corner, and it would like... Wait, why was it a G? GPRS, that's right. It was 1G, for sure. Okay, so, it was a little bit ahead of its time because, like, we're talking about, like, 56K download speeds, not, like, 5G or LTE or even 4G or 3G speeds, right? Okay. Just had to get that out there. Okay, so everything lived on the server side. So when she called in to T-Mobile to have issues, the representative on the carrier side can see everything on her phone. And, sorry, I have to wait for this person to walk. I told you my fear is to run over a pedestrian, and, I was paying attention, luckily. Anyway, so he was able to basically copy and paste her whole address book, and then I guess he did it with her pictures. I don't remember exactly what happened, because, like, let me just take you back to 2005, 6, 7, I don't remember what year this was, but I know I was, like, obsessed with Paris Hilton. And I was on TMZ, Perez Hilton, X17, like any gossip blog that I could, I would watch. So yeah, and I remember it was like a Saturday morning when it happened because I woke up, I opened my Mac, I was laying in bed, and I got on Perez Hilton, or maybe I opened my BlackBerry, I don't even remember at the time. Oh wait, I probably didn't have a BlackBerry. Or a Sidekick. I think I got the Sidekick after this happened. Anyway, yeah, so I was like obsessed with Paris Hilton because she was like super funny on The Simple Life. The sex tape thing, like, I don't know why it made me like her more, but like, I've always been drawn to like women that are powerful and aren't scared to say what's on their mind, and just like liberated women. Liberated anybody, I think was something that I just felt drawn to as a teenager. Anyway, oh, I was like eating it up. I called every single number I could. I remember getting people's voicemails. Their voicemails were full. I remember getting like busies. I remember getting, I think by the time I had started calling people, a lot of the people had realized that their phone number had been doxxed. And so like a lot of people's phone numbers were already changed. But if you think back around this time, like the Newlyweds was really big and the Ashley Simpson show was really big, and I was obsessed. Like I was on MTV, that was just like my channel, you know? So I remember like specifically seeing Ashley Simpson and Jessica Simpson's phone numbers and calling them. I remember like Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were in the phone book, and I called them, and I don't think that they had their voice message changed or their phone number changed in time, because I do remember actually hearing a few celebrities' voicemails, and I saved their number in my phone, and I thought I was all cool, because I was like, oh yeah, I got all these people's numbers, even though they're probably wrong by the time I saved them. But yeah, it was Interesting. Oh, but on the other side, so I heard that she was really freaking rude to this representative to the point that he basically doxed her, which is illegal now. But back then, I don't think it was illegal, so he just released all her information. Yeah, so the guy got fired. I didn't hear anything else that I can remember from that side except for the guy getting let go and oh yeah, and I'm sure policy changed because like shortly after that things stopped being saved on a remote server, because like obviously that's not safe. We know that now, but like back then it wasn't safe. So yeah, the other big person that I spoke to was Gayle King, I think. She's Oprah's BFF. Now I feel like it's dark. I'll put it back to 250 so that, not that you guys know what 250 means. I mean, I don't really know what it means. It says ISO on my camera, and I like watched a YouTube video on what settings are really good for this, but I kind of forgot already. So I kind of just like go make up my own rules. Okay, so back to the story. So I was troubleshooting this girl's BlackBerry, and I was troubleshooting Gayle King's BlackBerry. She had forgotten her password, or her password stopped working to unlock the BlackBerry, which was like a very common problem on those. Oops. I just wanted to make sure my camera's not on. Very common problem on the BlackBerries. I think I had to master reset, which is basically wipe a whole BlackBerry so many times because of this issue that... Oh wait, is this... Yeah, this is... Oh, this is weird. There's a lot of like street construction. Okay. So she had a BlackBerry, she couldn't get into it. I wasn't that much help to her, and I could tell she was getting really frustrated. Now, when the call started, when I was doing all the troubleshooting, I didn't know who she was. I mean, yes, I verified the account, which I don't know why it just didn't connect with me, but so I went through a few steps with her. We couldn't get into it. We got to the last step, which was if her password wasn't working. I don't have the password because, like, your cell phone carrier does not know your password to your lock screen. They don't have any reason to need to know that. So, just so you're aware. Anyway, and, like, people got upset that we didn't have their passwords. I'm like, it wouldn't be, like, a secret password if I had your password. Like, okay, I'm getting off track. One of our steps when you're helping customers out on their phones is if they called in about an issue, or if the issue wasn't resolved, you wanted to like send them steps that they could do on their own. So at the end of the phone call, I was wrapping it up like, hey, I'm sorry we weren't able to get into your phone, but your next option is to wipe the phone and reset it so that you can use it again. And let me back up a little bit. So at this point, iPhones were out, Galaxies were out. I think I had the Galaxy S6 Edge or something at the point, and Gayle King was still using like one of the BlackBerries with the rollerballs on the side. And at this point, the BlackBerries had, I think, like the little trackpad in the middle, the little ball in the middle, or like the BlackBerry Bold was just coming out around this time, but like with like the whole keyboard and the colored screen. But no, she had like second or third generation BlackBerry with the scroller ball on the side, and it was ancient, which made it even harder for us to troubleshoot because it was so much older. She was a little bit short with me, but like a lot of customers are short when their phones aren't working, so I totally get it. No judgment. I'm not saying that in any way is part of her character. But So, okay, this is when the moment that I found out it was Oprah's BFF, right? So we didn't get to reset her phone, so I was like, here, let me email you the steps, so if you decide you want to reset your phone later on, you can. And she says, okay. And she's like, it's Gayle at theearlyshow.com or something. And I emailed it off to her. I did my whole spiel wrapping up the phone call. And then I look up really quick, I pull up Google and I'm like, The Early Show? What the heck is that? That sounds like a big time thing, you know? And it's CBS's morning show. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I see Gayle on the website and I was like, oh my gosh. And then I looked at the address and like the customer's information and it says Gayle King. And then I look at the address and I'm not going to say it, the address of course, but the very last part of it is PH1, penthouse 1, or PH and then a number. I don't think it was the first penthouse, but it was like 8 or 9 or something. But it said PH 8 or 9, and so I was like, I was totally just helping Gayle King out. I didn't realize it until after the end of the call when I basically had to email her. And yeah, I think she was, if I'm being totally honest with you, I think she was mad because I couldn't unlock her phone. And she was gonna have to wipe it all and like, this is why we tell people to back their phones up, because that kind of stuff happens randomly. And yeah, I doubt Gayle will ever see this video, but if you see this video, hey, I was the representative on the other end when you were calling T-Mobile for your BlackBerry a while ago. Now, as far as anybody else, I had a coworker that spoke to like Jermaine Dupri's assistant. Other than that, I didn't hear any other stories of celebrities. Now, I mean, we had stories, like, there's a few different types of people that call in. And some of them are extreme. Well, I should say a lot of them are extreme. But, like, one of the most common things that would happen is these people would be convinced their phones were hacked. Convinced. We would wipe the phone. We would take every account off of the phone. We would take the memory card off of the phone. We would send them a whole brand new phone. It was being hacked. Somebody was in there. This happened. Like, there was some people that, like, you just couldn't satisfy them. No matter what you said to them, their phone was hacked. The network was hacked. Their phone number was hacked. Their SIM card was, like, everything was hacked. And, some people, you could explain it to them, like, hey, there's no way at this point you have a whole new everything. There's no way at this point that you can have been hacked, right? Yeah, it's just like, it was just funny to see those people. And then there would be these, I guess you would call them trolls, call center trolls, where they call in and they don't have an issue. They don't want to give you their phone number. They don't want to verify their name. They just want to call in and talk to somebody and mess with them, basically. So they'll call in, like, I never had one specifically, but one of my good friends who, on my first team, I think, we ended up sitting next to each other, which is how we became good friends. But, and like, you might think that we didn't really talk much because we were at a call center, but no. We mute and talk. Mute and talk. Mute and talk. And then you take one ear off, and then you unmute. Mute. Oh my gosh, I know this customer's so crazy. So go ahead and press the home button, mute. Oh my god, this person's so dumb. Unmute. That only button in the middle on the center of your phone. Yup. Eye roll. Unmute. Like, that's totally how it goes. Anyway, she was just getting degraded. He was calling her every name in the book. And I think our manager wasn't in our, was in a meeting or something, and we couldn't find anybody to help us. But we were allowed to hang up on customers at a certain point if the harassment got really bad and you asked them to stop like 3 clear times, which I heard her ask them to stop 3 clear times. And this guy, here's another secret about call centers. When they say this call may be recorded for quality services, 100% of the calls, even when you're on hold, are recorded. I had to listen to my own phone calls for training, and when I would put somebody on hold so I could, like, I don't know, grab a test phone to send them a text message or to call them just to make sure that the service was actually working, you can hear what they're saying. You can hear them singing to the hold music. You can hear them talking to their friends, their coworkers. You can hear them talking crap about you, everything. You hear everything. So when they give you that warning, I'm telling you 100% of that phone conversation from before they pick up to after they hang up is recorded. So, and they didn't delete it. So if customers would call in and like there, for instance, there was this one lady that called in, and she would do this about once every 2 to 3 months. She would say her phone was broken beyond repair. She had done all the troubleshooting and she needed a brand new one sent out. So if the customer would escalate, which means they would ask to speak to a manager, if they would do that on a regular basis and it showed up on their account, because they would flag your account. Like, if you think there's not any internal communication going on or records of every time you're calling a company, there are 100% records of when you're calling, by the way. So if they say you didn't call and you did call, like, there's a record somewhere that you called. This lady kept trying to get free phones, and it was working, because the last, I think they had sent her 4 or 5 brand new phones, not troubleshooted, refurbished phones, brand new phones. And so if she doesn't get what she wants, she would just ask, she would be a Karen, right? Let me speak to your manager. Well, you can't give me a new phone? Well, let me speak to your manager. Oh, well, you can't give me, let me speak to the area director. She would just keep escalating. So what they did is it got to a point where nobody was above them was available. So they had to say, hey, let me schedule a call back with you. And they did some research on her account, and they saw her do this, and she had 5 brand new phones. She will send the phone back, and I forgot what she was scamming them to some point, and it added up to she had gotten so many brand new devices for free from the carrier, and she had only been with the company, I don't know, a year or 2, that we had paid her more money in phones than she had paid us in service, that the manager called her back and told her, we're not doing this game with you anymore. Your account has been flagged. You are not allowed to get a brand new phone from us at all. You pay 100% out of pocket. We have records of every time that this has happened. And she tried to escalate on him, and he said, no, at this point, it's costing us more money for you to be a customer than you're paying us. So I'm going to terminate your service. And her name got flagged, because you have to have a social security number and an ID. So obviously she could do it again under somebody else's name or account. But yeah, that was the first time I saw a manager tell a customer they were wrong, but they had proof that they were wrong. But this happens all the time. People be trying to scam businesses all the time, not just in the phone business. This happened at the restaurant business. I'm sure it happens at any business. Now I'm really ISO-y white. Yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for hanging out today. Don't forget, if you found any value, to like and subscribe. Also, make sure you appreciate a moment of the day. That way when you look back, you don't regret that you didn't appreciate the little moments. And yeah, I've been pretty consistent posting, so come back and see me again. Bye!